21. Mr. Brown planted a vegetable garden. The circle graph shows the kinds of vegetables he planted and the percentage of the area of the garden each kind of vegetable occupied. So we've got all these different percents, but we're missing one. We're missing the cabbage. Mr. Brown's garden has an area of 240 square feet. How many square feet of Mr. Brown's garden is occupied by cabbage? So first off, we got to figure out what percent is this. Well, we know all of these percents are going to add up to 100. So if we add these up right here, the 6 plus 28 plus 48 plus 8, we'll get 90. So these right here, the carrots plus the lettuce plus the broccoli plus the string beans, that's 90% of the circle. So this cabbage must be 100 minus 90. The whole thing equals 100%. So the cabbage has to be 10%. Okay, so we're going to have to figure out 10% of 240. 10% of 240 will give us our solution. So we turn this into a decimal. 10% equals 0.1 or 0.10. Of means multiply times 240, and that's going to give us 24. Finding 10% of a number, you just move the decimal one time to the left. So 24 square feet is our solution. Similarly, if you want to find 1% of a number, you move the decimal twice to the left. 22. Waldo and Freddie caught fish one weekend. The dot plot shows the lengths of the fish they caught. Okay, pay attention to this, because we have not been over this much. Which statement about the lengths of the fish caught by Waldo and Freddie appears to be true? The data for Waldo's fish and the data for Freddie's fish are skewed to the right. Skewed? Here's what a left skew looks like. Left skew is more heavily concentrated on the right side. There's fewer points on the left side. It's called a skewed left. It's a left skew when there are fewer on the left side. Here's a right skew. This is skewed right because there are fewer points here on the right side of the graph. They're more concentrated over here on the left side. So this is skewed right. This is skewed left with fewer on the left. This is skewed right with fewer on the right. So is Waldo's skewed right? Is it more heavily concentrated on the left-hand side? No, it is not. It is not skewed right. If anything, it's skewed left. It's more heavily concentrated right here. The median length of the fish caught by Waldo is greater than the median length of the fish caught by Freddie. So we don't have to write all these numbers out. We don't have to write out 15, 17, 17, 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 19, 19. We don't have to waste our time doing that for the median. We can just cross out smallest, cross out biggest, 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 and so on until we get to the middle number. And the middle number will be right here, 20. So our median here, our middle number is 20. Here, our median number, cross out smallest, cross out biggest, and we will we'll eventually get to 19. So the median here is 19. So the median length caught by Waldo is greater. 20 is greater than 19, so this is true. Let's just look at the other ones real fast. The range is going to be the same. Range is highest minus lowest. The highest for both of them is 22. The lowest for both of them is 15. So they both have a range of 7. So this is not true. And approximately symmetrical, for a graph to be symmetrical, this is completely symmetrical right here. The left side looks like the right side if you put a line of reflection. This is approximately symmetrical right here. This is approximately symmetric. Okay, it's not exactly, but it's approximately. So no, these graphs are not approximately symmetric. Yeah, these are not approximately symmetric. Okay, number 23. Cassie wants to buy a pair of shoes for $30.15. $30.15 and a shirt for $15.35. So we want the sales tax. The sales tax rate is 8.25%. That's what it is here in Texas. What will be the amount of sales tax on Cassie's purchase? So we're just looking for the sales tax. We're not looking for the price after sales tax. We're just looking for the tax. So first off, we look for the total. So 5 plus 5 is 10. Carry the 1. 3 plus 1 plus 1 is 5. 5 plus 0 is 5. 3 plus 1 is 4. So $45.50 would be the total before tax. So 45, we're trying to find 8.25% of 45.50. Okay, now of means multiply, and to turn this into a decimal, we're going to move it 2 times to the left. Okay, and if you ever forget this, you should know by now that 25% equals 0.25, and in order to get from here to here, we're moving this twice to the left. So if you ever forget which direction it's going, just draw this out and you can create it. Say, oh, I'm going twice to the left to make it. So here I've got 8, 2, 5. We're starting here and we're going twice to the left. So 1, 2, decimal now goes there, and we're going to fill this whoop in with a 0. So we've got point, or we can put a 0 in front of it if we want to, 0.0825 times 45.50 will give us our solution. So 0.0825 times 45.5 is the same as 45.50, so I can just leave this 0 off. It's the same thing. Notice we're multiplying here, so we do not have to line up the decimal. That would be a whole lot of extra work, a whole lot of extra zeros. We do not have to line up the decimal when we multiply, only when we add or subtract. So 5 times 5 is, let me use a different color here. 5 times 5 is 25, carry my 2. 5 times 5 plus 2 is 27, carry my 2. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 2 is 22. Now we're going here, so I'm going to mark my spot with either a 0 or an X. 2 times 5 is 10, carry the 1. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 1 is 11, carry the 1. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. Okay, now we're over here with the 8, so we got to mark 2 spots with either zeros or X's. So we're starting off over here. We're starting 2 places to the left, so we've got to go mark 2 places here. 8 times 5 is 40. Carry the 4. Let's just make this 1 into a 4. 8 times 5 is 40, plus 4 is 44. Carry the 4. 8 times 4 is 32, plus 4 is 36. So now we got to add all these up. We don't have to do anything with these zeros because it's just going to give us a bunch more zeros, and we add that, it's not going to change anything. So when we add these up, we get 5, 7, 3, 2 plus 9 is 11, plus 4 is 15. Carry the 1. 6 plus 1 is 7, and then we got a 3. Now we're going to have to bring this decimal back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it goes right there. So since our cents stop here, this 3 is going to make this 5 stay the same. If it's 4 below, stay on the floor. 5 to 9, move up the line. Since this is less than 5, we're going to leave this one the same. So it's just going to be $3.75. $3.75. With tax questions, always ask yourself, is it reasonable? If you were to spend $45.50 at the store and they charged you $3.75 tax, yes, that's reasonable. Some of the answer solutions for these are not reasonable sometimes. So always think, is this reasonable? Does it make sense? If we got $10 or even $8 for a $45 purchase, that's not reasonable. $8 on 45 is not reasonable at all. Okay. Number 24. Maria's monthly income is $1,800. The table displays the different categories of Maria's monthly budget and the amount of money she spends in each category. Which statement is not supported? Which statement is not supported by the information in the table? More than half of Maria's monthly income is spent on rent. $950 is more than half of $1,800. Half of $1,800 would be $900. So $950 is more than half. So this is supported, so it is not our solution. Maria puts 15% of her monthly income into savings. Well, 15% of 1,800 would be 0.15. That's our 15%. Of means multiply times 1800. 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 8 is 40, carry the 4, 5 times 1 plus 4 is 9, mark my spot, 1 times 0 is 0, 1 times 0 is 0, 1 times 8 is 8, 1 times 1 is 1. When we add these up, we get 0, 0, 0, 7, and then 2. Bring the decimal back twice, 1, 2, 1, 2. So 15% of 1800 is 270. That is true. 270 is 15%. So that is supported. We're looking for what is not supported. 1/4 of Maria's monthly income is spent on utilities, cable, and groceries. So utilities is 100, plus the cable is 50, plus the groceries is 300. That gives us a total of 450. So 450 out of 1800. 450 out of 1800. Is that a quarter? Well, let's see. Let's simplify it. Get rid of these zeros. That's the same as 45 over 180. And then we can divide by 15. Or you could divide by 5 first and then 3. But when you divide this by 15, you get 3 over, let's see, 180 divided by 15. 15 goes into 18 one time. 1 times 15 is 15. 18 minus 15 is 3. Bring down the 0, so you get 12. So 3 over 12. 3 twelfths. And then we can divide again. Divide by 3. Divide by 3. You get 1/4. So yes, that is 1/4. That is supported. So it must be this one. If you did 0.14 times 1800, you would not get the cell phone and other expenses. So that's our correct answer. Alright, number 25. The table shows Jillian's net worth. Assets are shown as positive numbers. Assets are what you have. Liabilities are what you owe. Liabilities are shown as negative numbers. So assets are what you have. Liabilities are what you owe. So Jillian's net worth is $90,000. Based on the information in the table, what is the amount of money Jillian owes for student loans? Okay, so if we add all these positive numbers up, if we add up all the assets, this plus that, plus this, plus this, plus this, when you add all those up, you should get $106,600. Okay, so $106,600. And then minus the, let's see, minus the credit card debt, because that's what she owes. So that minus 2650, that brings us to 103,950. And then if we subtract the 1,200 that she owes, if we subtract the 1,200 she owns for personal loans minus 1,200, that brings us to 102,750. Okay, so that's what she has right here. We're showing 102,750. So if her net worth is really only 90,000, the rest is going to be, the difference between this and this is going to be what her student loans is. So we've got 102,750 minus the 90,000 to find out what she owes, and that's going to bring us to 12,750. That's the difference. So this must be a negative 12,750. That's how much she owes. That's a liability. That's a liabilities to bring it to 90,000 total. Okay, 26. A 2-month budget with expenses is shown. This is a 2-month budget for a family of 3 in San Antonio, Texas. Which equation can be used to determine why the minimum amount of money a family must earn to meet the requirements of this budget for 1 year? Okay, so 1 year is 12 months. And we know this is for 2 months. If I've got my months here, I've got to convert my years to months here. And so I've got 3,600 every 2 months. I want to know for 12 months. So 2 times 6 is 12. So what would I do to the bottom? I've got to do to the top. 3,600 times 6. That's it. That's what we got to do. Times 6 to get for a full year. There are 6 sets of 2 months in 1 year. Mr. Juarez opened a savings account with an initial deposit of $610 and will not make any additional deposits or withdrawals. So it's going to stay at $610, except for the interest. The account earns 1% simple interest. Okay, so what is the total amount that Mr. Juarez will have in this account at the end of 4 years? Okay, so simple interest means we're not getting interest on the interest. We're just getting interest on $610 every year. So we got to find 1% of $610. And if you remember from earlier, that's 0.01 of means times 610. And really what we're doing here, that's going to give us, we move the decimal twice to find 1%. So that's going to be $6.10 per year. That's how much he's going to earn per year on the 610. So this 4 years, since it's simple interest, we don't have to add this and then find. If it was compound interest, we'd have to add the $6.10 to the $610 for the second year to find out how much we earn the second year. But we're not getting interest on this interest. We're just getting interest on the principal. This is the principal. So 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 6 is 24. Bring back the decimal twice. $24.40. That's how much interest he's going to earn. And we're looking for the total amount. So it started off with $610. We're adding $24.40. Since we're adding, we've got to line up our decimal. And that's going to bring us to $634.40 total. $634.40. Last one. A car dealership offers 2 types of discounts. Discount 1, take 5% off the original price of a car built last year and then receive a $3,500 rebate. Now a rebate is the amount of money you get back. So that's included. It's like a discount, only you usually get it back later. So discount 2, take 10% off the original price of a car built this year and then receive a $1,250 rebate. A customer is deciding between 2 cars. Car R was built last year and has an original price of $23,000. Car S was built this year and has an original price of $24,000. So for this $23,000, it was built last year. So we're gonna have to use discount 1. So discount 1 is gonna be 5%. So we've got to find 5% of $23,000. Then we're gonna add the $3,500 rebate, and then we're gonna subtract the sum of that. So 23,000, we're going to subtract the sum from the 23,000. So this times 0.05 gives us our 5% discount, and that's going to be $1,150. Okay, so $1,150, that's the 5% off, but you also get a rebate. You get a $3,500 rebate. So the total amount of discount for discount 1 for car R is going to be 0,564, $4,650. So now the original price is $23,000. The original price is $23,000 before the discount. Our 5% discount is $1,150 plus the rebate, $3,500 gives us our total discount. So a discount you're going to subtract minus $4,650, and that's going to give us $18,350. So car R is going to cost, after the discounts, it's going to be $18,350. Car R, $18,350. It is D. Now if we wanted to find the price for car S, we would do 10%. Now 10% is real easy. You just move the decimal once. So that would be $2,400. And then you add the rebate and you subtract from the $24,000. And you would have gotten $20,350 for car S.